World Cup predictions, but I'm going to try and predict the score of every group stage game. I found a couple of websites which allow me to predict the score of every game. I can link in the description for anyone interested. I think the problem with regular predictor websites that most people use is that it's difficult to predict the order teams will finish without actually looking into how the games could go. It's also impossible to predict the order of the best third place teams. But once you predict the scores of the games, this website will order the third place teams automatically. Okay, opening game of the World Cup. Mexico versus South Africa. I think Mexico will win this. I'm going to say, I think 2-0. South Korea versus Czech Republic. This is probably going to be a battle for second place between these two. I think Mexico will probably secure first place, playing at home, hosting the World Cup. I think Mexico will get first place, and this is going to be a battle for second. It's going to be a close game. I think I'm going to edge it to Czech Republic 1-0. South Africa, Czech Republic. I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Czechia. Then Mexico, South Korea. South Korea are still a good team. I think they can still perform. I'm going to say 2-2. Then Mexico, Czech Republic. I think Mexico will win 2-0. Then last game, South Korea versus South Africa. I think South Korea, they're going to get it. That would finish Mexico first, Czechia second, South Korea third place. Now, Group B, Canada versus Bosnia. Even though Canada are also hosting it, I just don't think that home advantage is gonna help them enough. I think Bosnia are gonna win 2-1. Switzerland versus Qatar. I'm gonna have to say 4-0 there. Switzerland, Bosnia. I think this is going to be a closer game. I'm going to say 2-1 to Switzerland. Canada, Qatar. I'll give Canada the win here. I think 2-0. Canada versus Switzerland. I think Switzerland beat Canada 2-0. Canada, their attack really isn't that convincing, I don't think. Qatar, Bosnia. I think Bosnia win 3-1. Okay, Group C. This is an interesting group. Brazil versus Morocco. I'm going to say 2-2. Nice draw in the first game. Then Scotland. I think Scotland will win 3-1. Morocco versus Scotland. This is also probably... Well, you would think this is a game for second place as well, Brazil. I think Brazil will finish first place despite that first game draw. And then I think Morocco 2-1 versus Scotland. Morocco will beat Scotland, I think. Now, Brazil, they should probably win this game comfortably now, 3-0, I would say. Then Brazil versus Scotland. I think Brazil, some people might be underestimating them this World Cup. I'll say 2-0 versus Scotland. They have a pretty good team. Morocco, I think they'll close off their final game 2-1. Nice 2-1, comfortable. That would get them second place. Same points as Brazil, but just behind on goal difference. So Brazil would still get first place. Then the USA group. Opening game against Paraguay. USA should be the favorites here. They do have a better team. But Paraguay, they could put up a fight. I think they'll come into this World Cup with great spirits. Opening game, USA, they might feel a little bit of pressure. I'll say 1-1 opening game. Turkey are probably heavy favorites for this group. They are the strongest. I'm going to say they'll beat Australia 3-0. I've heard some people saying Australia might do good, they might surprise some people, but I'm not so sure. Then Turkey, Paraguay, I think Turkey get the job done. They'll win 2-0. USA versus Australia, they'll be desperate for a win now. Again, I'm not too convinced with the USA, but I'll say they beat Australia 2-1. Then Turkey play the USA. USA will have 4 points already. Turkey, they'll probably want to fight for first place. I think Turkey is the better team. They are favorites of this group. I'll say 3-1. The USA, their defense, I think, is really their weak point. They have a good midfield, good attack. Their defense is really their weak point. And then Paraguay, Australia, I think Paraguay, I might be underestimating Australia here, but I say Paraguay 1-0. That would put Paraguay on 4 points. 4 points should secure them third place. And then USA second, Turkey first. Now, Germany. Germany opening game. This should be a high-scoring game. You would really expect this to be a high-scoring game. I'm gonna say 6-0 to Germany. Yeah. Here, this again, probably fight for second place between these two. Gonna be a close game. You know, there are probably gonna be more low-scoring games than I've predicted so far. I'm gonna say this game might end 0-0. It might happen 0-0. And then next game, Germany versus Ivory Coast. I'm gonna say 2-1. I think Germany do it 2-1. Then Ecuador, I think they get the job done as well, 3-0. Then Germany. Okay, so Germany versus Ecuador. This will be Germany and Ecuador's last game of the group. So Germany going into this game, as long as they don't lose, they'll get first place. So, you know, it being the last game, probably Germany might rotate their squad. They might try different players, give their players some rest. I think this game could end in a draw, 1-1. That would secure Germany first place. Ecuador would get second place. I think that game could end in a nice friendly 1-1. However, Ivory Coast, they'll probably also win. Curacao, unfortunately, will probably be the stopping team of this group, sadly. They'll finish bottom, 0 points. Ivory Coast, 4 points. That should get them through from third place as well. Group F, this is an interesting group. This and the France group, Group I, is probably the two toughest groups. First game, Netherlands versus Japan. I think this game could end in a draw. Japan, they could be a dark horse of this World Cup. They're obviously missing some players. Some didn't get called up. Matoma, some got injured. But they still have a good team. Netherlands also strong, but usually underperforming. 2-2 will be my prediction for this game. Sweden, they have good players, but we also had a disastrous performance during the qualifiers. They only qualified because of the Nations League, which probably isn't even fair. They still have a really good team. I thought maybe they could turn it around when they appointed Potter, but their recent friendlies haven't really been convincing. I'm going to say they draw 1-1 to Tunisia in their first game. Japan versus Tunisia. You know, Tunisia, I don't think they're that bad of a side. I might be overestimating them here. I don't know a lot about them. But again, I want to throw in some more 0-0s in this World Cup. I think we will get some. I think this game could potentially end 0-0. Netherlands versus Sweden. I think it'll probably be a close game, maybe a little boring. I don't think this will be that exciting of a game. I think 2-1. I think Netherlands will get the win 2-1. Then Netherlands, Tunisia. Again, probably low scoring. Netherlands, they'll probably get one goal, then defend. They have a pretty good defense. I think 1-0. Then Japan, Sweden. Both teams will need, Sweden will need to win this. As it stands, Japan are actually second. And Tunisia would have played all their games, so they can't overtake them. Sweden will need to win this game. Japan could hold off for just a draw and secure qualification to the knockouts. This game might be a little more high scoring. Sweden will have to go for it. I think maybe this game ends 2-2. Which actually puts an interesting scenario in this group where Japan would qualify in second place with only 3 points. And Sweden would be in third place with 2 points. That will not be enough to get them through the knockouts. Okay, now we have Belgium's group, Group G. Belgium should probably be favorites here. I think they'll get first place quite comfortably. They have a pretty good team, actually. Their squad depth isn't great, but their starting 11 is pretty good. Their defenders maybe are their weak point, but they have Courtois in goal. I think Courtois we've seen how he saved Madrid time and time again. him being back in the Belgium squad after leaving temporarily because of fallout with the manager. I think Belgium could be an underrated side here in this World Cup. First game against Egypt. Egypt are probably the second best team in this group, but I think Belgium win, maybe 2-1. Then this game, Iran versus New Zealand. I'd like to say New Zealand are better than they are, but they probably aren't. They probably aren't that good. Iran, these games probably won't be very high scoring. The quality of football probably won't be that great with the remaining teams here. I'm going to say 1-0 in this game. Belgium versus Iran, they'll probably win 3-0. Again, Belgium, I think they're just on another level compared to the rest of the teams. Unfortunately, 3-0 is probably a fair score here. Egypt versus New Zealand. Again, I'm going to sprinkle in one more 0-0 result here. Egypt should win this game. Maybe I'm being unfair to them, but I'll give them 0-0. You never know. Belgium versus New Zealand. I'm going to say 2-0. Again, Belgium should probably score more goals, but I'll play it on the safe side, 2-0. Give New Zealand the benefit of the doubt. Then Egypt versus Iran. At the moment, Iran are actually second place. Egypt will have to win this game, and I think they will win this game. I think 1-0, that will take Egypt to second place. 4 points. Egypt will qualify just behind Belgium. Now we have Spain. Spain is probably going to be like Germany 6-0 against Curacao. It's probably going to be a high-scoring game, but I don't think it'll be as high-scoring as Germany's. I'm going to say the score is, I'm going to put 4-0. It won't be like Germany's 6-0. Uruguay are probably second favorites to this group. I think they will finish just behind Spain. I'm going to say opening game 3-0. They have a pretty good team. Maybe they aren't as good as they were at the beginning of the South American qualifiers. But I think they're still pretty good. 3-0. Spain, I think, Saudi Arabia, they'll win 2-0. Uruguay, I think, again, another 3-0 here. Spain versus Uruguay, this should be the game that fights for first and second place, the decider. Spain will probably nick it 2-0, and that will secure them first place. Final game, Saudi Arabia. Well, it's the final game. Both teams are on 0 points. I'll give this a draw. I'll give both teams 1 point. Maybe they split it. Final game, they both go for it. Maybe it ends 2-0. Or not 2-0, 2-2. Now, this, again, Group I, very interesting group. Very difficult to predict. Opening game, France versus Senegal. Well, France's most recent, their friendlies, they won 3-0. They've done well. But Senegal, technically winners of AFCON, despite it being given to Morocco. They did win the final game, technically. They are technically AFCON champions. I'll say 2-2. Maybe nice draw, opening game. They could put up a fight. I think this could end in a draw, 2-2. Norway, they should win. Norway, they had a really great qualifying run for the World Cup. Maybe their friendlies haven't been as convincing, but I think they'll beat Iraq 3-0. France as well, I think they'll win quite comfortably 3-0. Now, Senegal versus Norway. Well, Senegal and Norway will both, they'll need points here. France should probably still secure first place. I think they will secure first place. Spoiler. This game will be very important. Honestly, I think it could end in a draw as well. Another 2-2 between the two sides. It could be high scoring. France versus Norway, I think this is where France overpower Norway. Norway, they're good, but I just think France, by this point in the tournament, France will probably just be too strong. They have more squad depth. I think they'll just overpower them 2-0. Which, Norway are already on 4 points anyway, so that won't be the end of the world for them. They should still go through. And then final game, Senegal, I'm going to give them 2-1. Norway will finish third with 4 points, but that will still get them through as a third place team. Group J now. Austria versus Jordan. I'm going to say Austria win 3-0. Argentina versus Algeria. This might surprise some people. I'm going to say 2-2. It might be similar to when Argentina lost their first game to Saudi Arabia 4 years ago. I think the first game, Argentina, I think first of all, they're not as good as they were 4 years ago, but they're still good. They'll make it out of the group. Algeria, I think Algeria are a little bit underrated. First game of the World Cup, I think maybe 2-2. They could finish on a draw. That will probably, again, like 4 years ago, give Argentina a bit of a wake-up call. Austria, many people rate them highly. I think they are a good team. Ralf Rangnick has done a great job with them. But I'm not sure they're that convincing. I'll give Argentina the win, 2-1. Algeria versus Jordan, I think Algeria will win 3-0. And Argentina versus Jordan, I think they'll win as well, 3-0. Algeria versus Austria, final game. I'll say it ends in a draw, 1-1. That should give Austria the qualification to knockouts to third place. Now, Group K, Portugal versus Congo. I think Portugal will win 2-0. Colombia could be a dark horse in this tournament. I think they'll win this game 3-0. Portugal versus Uzbekistan. I think Portugal have one of the best squads in this tournament. They have probably the best midfield of anyone. They have good defenders. Their attack, 41-year-old Ronaldo up top. I think their wingers aren't on the greatest form. Their attack might be not as good as, definitely not as good as like France or other teams, but they're still one of the best teams in the tournament. They have, I think, potential to make a deep run, or maybe even win it. Congo versus Colombia, I think Colombia will win. I think Colombia are, again, one of the most underrated teams. Very good. Have a very good squad. Portugal versus Colombia. So Colombia are very good, but I think Portugal will win 1-0. And then final game, I think here this will end 3-1. Yeah, and now Group L, England's group. England, they always say it's coming home, and they always underperform, but they will win. Their group stage games tend to be boring, but they get the job done. Even the knockout games, they get the job done. Up until the final or semi-final, that's where they usually lose. They'll win versus Croatia 2-0. They usually get the job done in the group stage, even if it's boring. Under Thomas Tuchel, they secure their defense. They concede a lot of goals. Ghana versus Panama, I'm going to say that ends 2-1. England, again, I think boring 1-0 win. They get the job done. It's the story of in the English football this season. It's like Arsenal. They get the job done. They'll score a goal. They'll probably defend. They'll get the job done. It's not great football, but it'll work. Croatia don't have that bad of a team. I think 2-0. They have some exciting players, but I don't think they'll finish third place again. Not for a third year in a row. Now, final game for England versus Panama. This one will probably be more high scoring. They'll get more goals. I think they win 4-0. And then final game. This game will also, this is the decider for second place. Like in many groups, this game will be the decider for second place. I think Croatia get it. I think Croatia are probably a better team than Ghana. I think they'll win 2-1. And with that, all of the score predictions. The website now gives you the best third place teams. It looks at the tiebreakers. It looks at the points, then the goal difference, then the goal scored, then the goals conceded. And with that, these are my best third place teams. Austria will qualify as the best third place team. Then you got Ivory Coast, South Korea, Norway, Paraguay, Scotland, Congo, Canada. Now, Canada actually have the same amount of points, same amount of goal difference, goals scored, everything's the same as Ghana. I believe after that, the tiebreaker is disciplinary. It'll go down to yellow cards. Now, the website automatically just put Canada here already. I didn't predict any yellow cards. But I think that's fair. I think Canada, if it does come down to yellow cards, maybe they'll get less than Ghana. really it's just a coin toss between Canada and Ghana if my predictions are correct, because yellow cards, I mean, you can't predict that. But I'm okay with Canada finishing 8th as the final best third place team. Unfortunately, Ghana will miss out and they won't make it to the knockout stage. Now, these websites do allow you to predict the score of the games, but they don't actually, once you predict the groups, they don't actually let you predict the knockouts. So what I did, what you can do if you want to try this website out, just take your group predictions after you predict the scores, find where they finish, find your best eight third place teams, and you could just take them to another website. You could take them to the official FIFA Play Zone, the official FIFA knockout predictor, and you will just input your predictions from the group stage, and it'll give you the knockouts. So that's what I did, and this is what my knockouts look like. So I'm just going to predict them in order really quickly. Germany versus Scotland, I think Germany will beat Scotland. France versus Paraguay, I think France will beat Paraguay. Czechia versus Bosnia, I think this will be a close game. It really could go either way. It's really up for it. I'll give it to Czechia. Maybe it could go to extra time, penalties. That's how both teams qualified to this World Cup, actually, in the UEFA playoffs. Both teams made it to extra time and penalties. This game could end the same way. I'll give it to Czechia. Netherlands, I think Netherlands will beat Morocco. Morocco's run ends here. It won't be as magical as last time. Colombia, Croatia, I think Colombia will be better than Croatia. Again, Croatia won't make it as far as last time. Spain will beat Algeria. I think Turkey will beat Canada. I think Belgium will beat Korea. Brazil, Japan, I wouldn't be surprised if Japan upset Brazil or surprised them, but I'll give the win to Brazil. I think Brazil have a pretty good team. Ecuador versus Senegal. I'll give it to Senegal. Then I think Mexico's run ends here as well. England will go through. Argentina, Uruguay, again, this could be close, but I'll give it to Argentina. They should win. Then USA, they'll beat Egypt, I think. I think USA will beat Egypt. Austria, Switzerland will win. Switzerland, I think, they'll beat Austria. Now, Norway, many people's dark horses, and I would have loved to see them as a dark horse. Unfortunately, because I had them finish third place, they'll come up against Portugal. I think Portugal will beat Norway. As much as I hate to do it, I think Portugal will beat Norway. Let me just continue from the bottom here. Portugal versus Switzerland, I think Portugal will beat Switzerland. Argentina, USA, Argentina will beat the USA. That makes for a very exciting quarterfinal. England, they'll win. They'll beat Ivory Coast. Brazil, Senegal, I think Brazil continue. I think Brazil will beat Senegal. Now, Belgium, Turkey, this could be a close game. This could be a close matchup. But I'll give it to Belgium. I think Belgium, quarterfinals might actually even be a surprise run for them. Many people, they might not expect that. I think Belgium will make the quarterfinals. They'll beat Turkey. And Spain, Colombia, that could be a good game. That could be a good matchup. But I think Spain will beat Colombia. Czechia, Netherlands will win. France, Germany, that is probably the best game of the round of 16. It's quite early for such a matchup. It's going to be a very good game. I think France just have more star power. Germany, I think France will beat Germany. Leonard Karl, I think, is a big miss for Germany. I think him being injured really weakens their attack. But overall, I think France is just a stronger team in general anyways. So then France, Netherlands, I think France will beat the Netherlands. Spain, Belgium, I think this is where Belgium's run ends. I think Spain will beat them. Brazil, England, this might be a shock. I'm going to go Brazil. I think Brazil have what it takes to beat England. I think this might be an upset, but I think Brazil will beat England. It's not the craziest prediction. Then Argentina, Portugal, that is a matchup. Messi versus Ronaldo. I think Portugal have the better team than Argentina this time around. I think Argentina are not as good as they were 4 years ago. I don't see them making it past Portugal here. I don't think they'll win it. I think this is where the run ends. Portugal go. Now, Brazil versus Portugal. This is also an interesting matchup. I think this is where Brazil's run ends. I think a semifinal would be, honestly, probably a good run for them. I think they would take that. I think they lose to Portugal. France versus Spain. I want to say France will beat Spain, but I also feel like France making 3 World Cup finals in a row, can that happen? It can. I just feel like it won't. I don't feel like France will get 3 World Cup finals in a row. But based off my predictions, based off how we got here, it's France versus Spain in the semifinal, and I do think France will beat Spain. So I'm going to have to put France in that final. But I totally wouldn't be surprised if I got that completely wrong. It would be really crazy for France to make 3 World Cup finals in a row. But with that, the final would be France versus Portugal. Again, crazy final. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen at all. But based off my predictions, we have France versus Portugal in the final. I think France might lose 2 finals in a row. I think Portugal, this might be their time. Last time there was Messi's run. I think, it'll be Ronaldo's time to win the World Cup. I don't think he'll perform like Messi performed 4 years ago, but I think he might finally lift the trophy. I think Vitinha, Bruno, I think other players might carry Portugal. They have a really good team. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win, but based off my predictions we got here somehow, I think Portugal will be my champions.